Hi everyone, and welcome to section 3. In this section, I'm going to show you how I use different tools and apps to teach writing in asynchronous classes or for homework as well. And in this lecture, I'm going to show you how I use Google Docs to create storyboards for my students that they can interact with at home when they're doing their homework, or they can do collaboratively with another student outside of the class. So go ahead and open up Google Docs, and I'll do the same. And as you can see here on my Google Docs, I have a storyboard that I've made already. So this is something that I did with my student, and you can see down here, these are actually my students' responses. I actually did this in a class with an individual student live. So it works if you have just individual students, but if you have a group of students, you won't be able to do this live. You'll have to set this as an assignment for homework. But you can see here, so this was my example response that I wrote for the student. So the student had basic English, A1 English. And then over here, you can see my student's response. So in the morning, she starts with breakfast. Croissant. It's a bit difficult to spell for an A1 learner, but eggs at 8 o'clock. So we were doing time and we were doing present simple. So this isn't really for a story. It's more just for daily routine, but you can use these storyboards for anything really. And they work with quite a lot of grammar points as well. This is the kind of finished product. This is what it will look like at the end when your students completed it. What it originally looked like when I made it, it looked like this. So it was blank and it just had one example given by me. If you're wondering how I got these funny pictures, these are Bitmojis. If you don't know how Bitmojis work, I do have a video in my other course, Google Suite for Online Teaching. Again, I'll link that in the document at the end of this course, and you can get a coupon code if you're interested. So this Bitmoji is actually supposed to be me. The way it works is you kind of take a selfie and then it creates this digital version of you. So it's quite fun to do with kids because it just makes it a bit more personal for the kids and they can see you. And they can even make their own if they want. If they have a phone, they can make their own Bitmoji and kind of insert it into the document and do it like that. So you can do it two ways. You can either create the document like this, where already have Bitmojis and times and different things that you want them to practice in the lesson or for the homework, and then they can just respond down here. So once you share the doc with them, if you go on share, and then you would go on change to anyone with this link. And then make that person an editor, they can do that. That's if you're in an individual class. If you're not, you would have to make a copy for each student. The way you can do that, if you have Google Classroom, there will be a button in your Google Classroom on the assignment section. Or if you don't have Google Classroom, it's very simple. What you can do is you can get this link up here. And all you have to do is delete the word edit off the end and put copy. And put the word copy on the end and then copy and paste that link and give it to a student, and it will force them to make a copy of this. They'll just have to click one button and it will force them to make a copy. So for example, if I took this now and I put this in let's just put this in an incognito link, I'll show you what happens. Okay, so just log in with your email. Okay, and then it will come up like this and you'll be forced to make a copy. You have to click this in order to get the document. So you can do that with any document, any Google Doc, any Google Slide, anything Google. Just take off the end and add copy and it will force the other person to make a copy. Okay, so what you can either do, you can give this to, if you're in Google Classroom, you can assign this to like 5 students and they can all work on it together and kind of create their own story by adding in images by adding in text, and they can kind of build this story together, or you can give it individually as well, and they can create their own story at home, and then they'll upload it to the Google Classroom or send it to you, and you can take a look at it. Like I said, if you have individual students, you can also do this live in the class as well, and you'll be able to see them writing, like I showed you in a few lectures ago. You can see people writing on Google Docs interactively. So this is my version. What I'm going to do is I have a blank template here, and I'm just going to put this in the extra resources at the end of this course, so you can get a copy of this. Again, you'll be forced to make a copy, and you can have this and you can just edit it however you like. So what I did, you can just insert images and search from web. For example, let's say pumpkin. Okay, and then we can just whack this on here. Be wary that if your images are really big, you're going to have to resize them to make them kind of fit the thing, like that. But it'll just go back as soon as you search it. Or you can include your Bitmojis. So I have a Bitmoji extension here, which allows me to insert my own little kind of funny pictures, like this. Sleepy, absolutely. Okay, so you can just insert stuff like that and then insert text as well if you like. Okay, so that's how I use storyboards with my students for homework and asynchronous classes. So join me in the next lecture where I'll be showing you how to reverse engineer your students' writing using Edpuzzle. I'll see you there. Bye.